Analytics is something that is we see it in basketball, we see it, sports around, like, it's kind of like taking over, like it's replacing like pure talent.
Right.
And music, with as far as like the views and the streams go, do you feel like labels are overlooking people like yourself and other people who are in this space because of the views and the numbers? Like,
I was even saying this on Twitter the other day that, like, you know, everything is just numbers driven. Like, no one's looking for like the feeling. Like, that's what's missing with music. Like, if people could tap into just making music that makes people feel, that speaks to people on a human level, you could win with that, because like humanity can't be taken away. Like, numbers is like all mechanic, you know what I mean? It's all math. But if you could tap into like your feelings, everyone has feelings, you know what I mean? If you could tap into that, you can do something, because people will respond to it positively, you know what I mean? That's what my purpose was with my last project, was like, I want to speak to the human condition. So I'm gonna just do music that fits that mold and just go from there. So like, when people look at the analytics and stuff and they're really good, it's like you'll have somebody's like, all right, well, if you want to do this, this is what you could do to get your numbers up. This is what you could do. It's like you end up spending a lot of time just trying to create content to get your numbers up, but you're not focusing on being great as a musician or as an artist. And
Fuck your life. You watching Hip Hop Gems TV, you heard?
welcome to Hip Hop Gems TV, man. You already know what it is, man. Got another gem with me sitting here. Got my guy Lighthouse in the building.
What's going on? What's going on?
How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling wonderful, magnificent.
The energy's infectious, man. I feel it, man. Pause. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too.
Let's jump into this shit, man. Who is LightHou5e, man? And how did you get into this space?
LightHou5e is a Uber expressionist. And I don't mean delivery or transversing or traveling. I just mean super creative, visionary. I do a lot of things. I'm just creative. Like, you could put me in any discipline and I could create fire. You know what I'm saying? So, and LightHou5e is a person who is a beacon of information. That's my purpose, is just to try to enlighten people, give them the heightened enlightenment, and just give them a different perspective. You know? So everything that I do is intended to be purposeful and significant. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful, beautiful answer, brother. You are someone that I've done my research, done my homework. I know you someone that has been around for quite some time around music, whether it been from, we worked with different artists, or just I know you tapped in, you producer as well. How did you kind of get your entryway into that space in terms of like music, like been that music space? And
There's a long story and a short story, but I'll keep it short. Like,
okay.
I'm gonna just start from college. I'm classically trained. I went to SUNY Purchase College, got a degree in studio production. Prior to going to college, I used to, buy instrumental CDs and instrumental tapes with my homies. I had a karaoke machine. I used to record like that. When I got to college, the technology got better and I had access, and I was able to, like, learn how to make beats, learn how to record, and I would make beats and share them with my homies. MG, one of them, my man Amin. They used to rhyme on my beats. My man Carmelo, Fifth Ave has, bunch of different brothers. And I just kept on going at it, and like, people would hear my stuff and want to buy beats from me. And I was selling beats like a long time ago, but I was just selling for like $100. It wasn't no contract. It was just like, yo, I need bread for these beats. Just give me that, you know what I'm saying? And people would pay for the beats. I had like a little ear for what sounded good in terms of like production, and like, not having weird sounds, and just making everything sound good theory-wise. And people appreciated that. So it kind of put me on a playing field where people was respecting the music, and then they was coming to me for it. And that tied into like my connection with people who was doing A&R and stuff, and interning at Universal Records. It's just, all of these things kind of nurtured who I would become as a producer. You know what I mean?
That's beautiful, man. it's I don't even know where to even start in terms of like next segue for a question for that. That is amazing. I'm so glad you shared that. I feel like people like yourself have insight on the industry, the do's and don'ts, the fears that a lot of people hear in the industry. How were you able to kind of navigate that space in terms of like like finding out like what was for you and like what wasn't for you as a creative?
Well, being, interning and just having like a close relationship with people who were actually in the mainstream industry,
Mm-hmm.
and being like a fly on the wall, just being around certain people and just seeing how people act and how they react to like, emerging artists, and just like seeing like there's a hustle uh to get people, because there's a lot of people who want to be artists. So that
Mm-hmm.
creates an industry where you can exploit those people. So
Mm-hmm.
I come from the era where it was people who was doing like showcases and stuff. So it was like you would tell somebody like, yo, I'm doing this showcase. You're going to open up for this person, or there's going to be an A&R from this record label and whatnot. But it won't necessarily be a real A&R. It could just be an A&R's assistant, or it could be an A&R who just don't have like the leverage to really sign nobody, but they just A&R there. They just got the gig or whatever. They'll pull up, get a bottle, get comped something, you know what I mean? And then they'll listen to your music. And unless you're exceptionally good, they'll listen to you, you know what I mean? And for an aspiring artist, that means something. It's significant. So,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're paying like, an exorbitant amount of money to have this opportunity that don't lead to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew people that was doing that, and I'm like, I can't get in that. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then like just knowing the industry from the inside, it's like you have to have leverage in order for them to even want you, or for you to even have a good deal. You could be
Mm-hmm.
nice, and if you reach out to them, they'll take meetings. If you have a good song, they feel like, oh, I could do something with this, you know it might not lead to nothing crazy, but if you just doing your own thing and getting things going, it's just like you could have more leverage to say what kind of deal you want and stuff. So back to your question, it's just like just being around that and seeing how things was and how people was moving, it kind of informed me like I don't necessarily want to do that. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of want to like do my own thing and like just figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like lost what you were saying, but like
Nah, it's all good. Nah,
yeah,
you pretty much
okay,
answered
okay,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I asked you that because I think in our space, particularly like the underground space, I feel like a lot of us, I think the mainstream thing, I think we kind of like we run from that shit because it's like, yo, I don't want no parts of that. Like, I don't want to deal with like whether it be contracts or whether it be like, people being tied to like, artistry or people being able to take your artistry or whatever. And I think that your insight or the information you just provided rather was amazing to hear because, or it's insightful rather, because I think that it can help the next person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the mainstream isn't bad as long as you have leverage. Like
Mm,
you figure like you're coming to a boardroom table and like you have to bring something to the table. They have a job, they have interests that they're looking to fulfill, and you have a passion or interest that you're looking to fulfill, and you want to make sure that it's advantageous for the both of you. So
mm,
if you're someone, now everything is like all about like your numbers and analytics.
right.
Where back in the day it was just like if you had talent and you could really do it and you was able to fight through everything in order to get to somebody where they would pay attention and you would wow them, it was a feeling that they would live off of, and then they could be like, yo, we're gonna put you with the marketing department and get you to be a superstar. You know what I mean? They seen potential,
Mm,
and if they seen potential, they could develop you. Now it's like you have to come in with the development already there, and everyone don't have that. So people could just be naturally talented
right.
and just get in these positions, and it's just, it's like, all right, this song is popping on whatever social media platform. We're going to do something with that. You know what I mean? And now they have a bottom line, and they might change what you do and who you are, and the people who was with you from the beginning might feel alienated once they try to change you to fit what they need to fit their bottom line. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So it's different now. So you have to have your stuff together, or just it's not bad if you get to a label, but just know what your worth is, and you know how to advocate for yourself, and you know kind of negotiate the terms so they work for you, so that you're not getting jerked. You know what I mean? Because they got the
Absolutely.
bread, they could give you mad money, but then if you don't know how to advocate for yourself and get the right terms, it could be a bad situation for you.
Analytics is something that is you know, we see it in basketball, we see it, you know, sports around, like, you know, it's kind of like taking over, like it's replacing like pure talent.
Right.
And music, with as far as like the views and the streams go, do you feel like labels are overlooking people like yourself and other people who are in this space because of the views and the numbers? Like,
Yeah, for me, I personally don't want to. I'm not really interested in. I mean, if it happened and it made sense for me to go with a major, I would do it. But like,
mm,
you know, for people who are pursuing that, it does. There is a disadvantage because like there's people that have these jobs, whether it's due to nepotism, it's all everything in the industry is kind of like based on relationships. So
mm,
if you don't have the right relationship with the right people, you know, you can get overlooked. You could be as talented as hell. There's people that are super talented, super nice, dope, who will never get the shot of the day because they just don't have the right supportive infrastructure to get them into the rooms or conversations where people are actually paying attention to them, who can push the buttons. So, you know, it's kind of crazy in that sense that, you know, it could get convoluted. You know what I mean? Like
mm.
it could get crazy. So your question was,
Like with like as far as like labels overlooking artists, it like being like the numbers is not matching up.
yeah.
I feel like that kind of just hurts.
It does,
You know,
because
it hurts the game.
there's a lot of people who can get discouraged by that,
Mm,
who are just like, you know, like I was even saying this on Twitter the other day that like, you know, everything is just numbers driven. Like no one's looking for like the feeling. Like that's what's missing with music. Like if people could tap into just making music that makes people feel, that speaks to people on a human level, you could win with that because like humanity can't be taken away. Like numbers is like all mechanic, you know what I mean? It's all math. But if you could tap into like your feelings, everyone has feelings, you know what I mean? If you could tap into that, you can do something because people will respond to it positively, you know what I mean? That's what my purpose was with my last project, was like I want to speak to the human condition. So I'm gonna just do music that fits that mold and just go from there. So like when people look at the analytics and stuff and they're really good, it's like you'll have somebody's like, all right, well, if you want to do this, this is what you could do to get your numbers up. This is what you could do. It's like you end up spending a lot of time just trying to create content to get your numbers up, but you're not focusing on being great as a musician or as an artist, and you start to like lose who you are. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So I would say that, you know, people should just focus on their art. You know, content is cool, but like as long as it's a derivative of your art, like, you know what I mean? If you could chop up pieces of your art and just put it there, not make jokes and stuff, because I was doing that, but I was getting paid for it on Facebook, on Instagram. They had a little program where they was paying you,
Oh
you know,
wow, yeah.
to make. So I was like, you know, I'm funny in real life, you know,
Mm,
but that's not something I want. I'm not trying to be a comedian, you know what I mean? But I
mm,
was doing my little funny skits and I was getting bread off of that. But when they
mm,
stopped it, I stopped doing the skits, you know what I mean? So I'm
mm.
not engaging with people as much. My stuff kind of lives within my stories on IG. I'll be talking shit on Twitter, and that's it. But I would
Yeah.
say to focus on just doing your art and not the content side.
Amazing answer. Amazing. First off, I definitely seen your Twitter page. Definitely love your tweets, man. You be talking some shit.
I try to keep it diverse. I try to keep it righteous and ratchet. You know what I mean? Just, you know,
R and R.
yeah, R. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yo, your last project, you just spoke on it, man, about the human. You wanted to create a human experience, Temperance.
Yes.
You open up the year with I want to say a strong message on addiction, a drug. That's damn near a drug for a lot of people. People's vices, rather.
Yeah.
How did you tell us? Rather, excuse me. Tell us, how did that come about for you, man? How did you get to that place in your life where you say, "Yo, I want to make an album about alcoholism"?
It was born out of like actually just living that. Like, you know, with hip hop, everyone always talks about keeping it real, you know what I mean? And like there's so many ways to keep it real, you know what I mean? Just be yourself.
Mm.
And like I just want to be, you know, I'm 40 years old. I'm not afraid to say it. Like I'm 40. I love rapping. I'm a rap for forever. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I love music.
Mm.
I'm a musician.
You
So
look good, brother.
appreciate you,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to like I come from when hip hop first started. Like I'm 10 years younger than hip hop. You know what I mean? So in the original days, it was all about keeping it real. So you have to be an individual, and I'm not in this to chase fame or money. I do pretty good for myself running a record label and having other side endeavors. It's not really about that. I live a great life. I travel, I do whatever. But besides that, besides the materialistic shit, the real purpose of me is just making music that people can listen to. I want people to hear my music. That's my main thing. It's like, how many people can I get to listen to my music? So when it came to making Temperance, I had a whole nother idea, but then I had one song and I was playing like the project, you know, it was like one song from another project. The song Viceroy, it's the last song on Temperance. It was a part of another project. And like my girl at the time, she was listening, she was like, yo, you really going through this. Like you should actually listen to what you saying, like your words, like you drinking a lot. Like I was like clearing bottles, like 2 bottles a day of tequila, like wilding out. You know what I mean? It was
Wow.
like it was crazy.
Wow.
And you know, it was affecting how I was communicating with people, and it was becoming detrimental. I felt like I could have died from that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I wanted to make something that would be mantra specific, where I'm saying words that I can repeat to myself that could actually help me build upon who I was and just like kind of heal from it, you know?
Mm.
So I wanted to make music that can be medicine almost.
Mm.
So I said, you know, I'm gonna use this song and just build the whole project around it. So I
Mm.
made all the other songs that would complement that song,
Mm.
and that's how I came up with Temperance.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I would like to say that, man, it was like almost a Bible for like a lot of people who are going through that. I know in my personal life, you know, I lost relatives to, you know, alcohol abuse.
Mm-hmm.
You really spoke to myself, and I know that, you know, others who are battling that. I know that your voice has become like somewhat of a like, yo, man, if I could do it, you know, then you can do it, kind of, you know, then you can do it too, man. Um, it's so much I even want to dive in on that. It's just like, at what point did you start to realize like, okay, look, I need to get some help, or did you seek help, or did you go kind of just cold turkey and just say, yo, fuck it, I'm not drinking no more?
Yeah, it was like that. It was like my shorty telling me like, yo, you bugging. And like, you know, me and her getting arguments, and I was just a little bit more aggressive with her verbally. I
Mm.
was just like, yeah, I'm playing myself. I'm typically a cool, laid back, smooth person. So to have my lady you know, feeling like, damn, you wilding, it's just like I kind of like just said, you know what, I have self-discipline. I'm not going to do this. I'm just going, like, it's hard to just go clean cold turkey. So I just said, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take a week off, and then I'm going to reward myself for what I like on Saturday. Then I took 2 weeks off, and then I started like going to the gym. Then luckily Ramadan came around, and I started fasting. You can't drink through Ramadan, so I didn't drink nothing.
Mm.
And that helped me, you know what I mean? And it was just like, you know, it's a gradual thing. Being honest with yourself, like, yo, you can't just stop tomorrow. Some people could do that, but like, it's tough. Like, cause, you know, my friends, they drink, you know, so I'm always around people that's having a good time. So it's like, yo, I wanna have, you know, I'll have a sip, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Then it's like when you in a club setting, you just want to have something in your hand. So that don't
Mm.
necessarily have to be a drink. It could be a seltzer water. So I
Mm.
just have a seltzer water with a lime. And when I come out the club and I'm like, I don't got a headache in the morning, I feel good, I can get up and do songs, I could run errands. That was rewarding for me. So I like that feeling, and that became addictive. And then I just started pursuing that. You know what I mean? So it was like self-medication. And listening to the album, you know, I could listen to some songs and it kind of brings tears in my eyes because I was really in a dark place when I was recording it.
Mhm.
So, you know, my hopes is that when people hear it, you know, they can tap into it and realize that they have to you know, shine some discipline on overindulgence. It's really about overindulgence. Like it don't necessarily have to be alcohol. It could be whatever you're overdoing. Like life should be balanced. You know what I mean? So it's about being. I ain't saying I was never going to drink again, but I just don't want to drink as much because I was wilding out. Like I was going
Right.
crazy with it. So that's what it is.
Salute to you for even being able to be self-aware and recognize that, you know, and being able to come out on the opposite side of the fence with that. A lot of people suffer with that.
Yeah.
With balance though. Like,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
balance is such key to everything that we do.
Right.
And a lot of people, a lot of behaviors that we exhibit, man, it's very detrimental to us. Like if we don't have any type of balance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to get into your record label,
Okay.
Slick Records.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about?
So, ever since I was young, I've always had this ambition to be a record executive. Like I always love being behind the scenes, and like that's really my strong point. Like I love like, you know, coaching people or giving them wisdom or just sharing my ear for music. I grew up, you know, listening to jazz, listening to everything. I've been around, you know, Grammy Award winners in the 80s, like jazz musicians. My mother delivered Bradford and Wynton Marsalis's first children.
Wow.
And these are Grammy
Yeah.
award-winning jazz musicians who played with the greats like Miles Davis and stuff. We had Sting at our crib in Clinton Hill, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So we've been around, you know, a lot of ill shit, you know what I mean? And like, you know, I just love the feeling of like the people who was behind the scenes. Like the star is cool too, but the person behind the scenes lives a ill life, but it's less of the, you know what I mean? They could still take the train and go see somebody and no one would know who they are.
Normalcy.
I love that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, fame is cool in terms of like, if you recognize who I am, I can sell you records off of just who I am, branded as you recognize me.
Wow.
But like, there's people who make bread who you don't know who they are. You know what I mean? And that's what I do. Like, you know, I do my rap thing because, you know, I love to do it. But I have, you know, an artist, B Nova, I have Courtney Berry, and they are very talented, and like we work together, and like, you know, we do good stuff. So when I had the opportunity, B Nova actually inspired it. It was like we went to a shooting range in Jersey, in Philadelphia, and I was, you know, on a drive back, I was playing beats, and she just started like with a top line freestyle, and she was like, I was like, yo, that was kind of fire. She was like, nah, you know, just downplaying this shit. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give you this beat and just let me hear what you come up with it. So she came up with a rhyme and stuff, and like we recorded it in GarageBand. It was like, this was early, like 2015 maybe, some shit like that.
Wow.
And then it came out good. I was like, all right, I like the way this sounds. Let your people hear it. Don't tell them who it is. Just let them hear it, see how they vibe to it. She was like, everyone had a positive response. So I was like, oh, you know what? Now is the time I want to start my label, because I wanted to start a label, but I didn't want it to just be me. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to be the only artist on my label. You know what I mean? So I wanted to have somebody else. So she was the other person. And then later on, Courtney Berry came along, and like, you know, I feel like our connection was like spiritual, because her best friend was my man Davon Pickett. He was Nicki Minaj road manager, Pusha T, K Michelle. He worked with them, but he tragically lost his life in Philadelphia when he was on a leg of Nicki Minaj's tour. But me and him used to work at Star Trek together. And we used to always talk about how we was gonna, you know, what our plans was when we get on. You know what I mean? We was just interning and shit. But like, when I met her, you know, she was like, yeah, I sing. I was like, all right, cool. Everybody tell me they sing. But then one day she posted a picture of him. I was like, yo, you know Day Day? She was like, that's my bro. I'm like, what? Oh, nah, you got to come to the crib now. And so I put her like on one of my songs from my Bless EP. I put on I put on a song, and she sung, and I was just like, nah, you fire, you nice, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had 2 artists, and it was just like everything's been lit from there. You know what I mean? She's doing her thing. Every Friday I get like a email report. She's getting streamed in Europe, Shazammed in Brazil. She's international. Like, they love her. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So the team is good. Like, low-key international, which is where I want it to be.
Right.
Like, we making moves, you know what I mean, quietly. And it's just like, I want to go to these places and actually make the connections so that we can really pop. Because if you blow up elsewhere, you come back and then you get the parade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you starting out, people typically, they know you. They like, yeah, whatever. But it's like when someone else celebrates you, that's when everybody jump on the bandwagon. And it's all good. Like, it's all good. We ain't the first to do it. Like, it's happened to James Brown, the Jacksons. Now people grew up in Gary, Indiana, and was like, yo, I know the Jacksons. I'll bust their ass in a talent show. Like, yeah, but you're not Mike, though. You know what I mean? So, you know, so it's like that. Like, you got to go out of town and get your come back home and get your parade. You know, got to win a championship OT. So, but yeah, that's my record label experience, man. It's been really good, learning a lot. Everybody who I try to bring on, like, I try to educate them, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I can only do but so much because I'm a boutique label. But I am going to equip you with the knowledge because of what I learned. I always want artists to be the best them. I want you to be dope. So I do artist development. Like, I'm like, yo, you got to have this together. You have to have your publishing together. You have to know all of these ways to get your money. And your presentation got to be good. So I do that with artists, and that's what my label is about. So I teach people, and you know, I get a little piece of the publishing or whatever we do together, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, if they decide to go somewhere big or if they feel like something could benefit them better, I don't hold on to nobody. I don't take no hostages. It's just like, yo, come to me, let's make some dope stuff together. We'll keep the ownership of it forever, and then, you know, together. And, you know, that be that.
Light, man, you are a true gem to this culture, to somebody like myself.
Appreciate that.
I want to thank you, man, for just everything, you know what I mean, providing us with that, with your lens. Do you have anything coming up that you want to let the people know?
Yeah, I'm working on a new project. I haven't titled it yet, but it's about like love, you know what I mean? I feel like the love economy right now is really polluted in terms of like how our people in our generation communicate with each other. You know, like, we don't have enough love in our ears anymore. It's not enough people making love music. It's not enough babies being born off of like some good music, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's cool to just like women still, you know what I mean? Or just like the opposite sex without it being degrading or disrespectful. You know, I'm not saying that I'm not with none of the ratchet shit. I'm definitely with it. But we need to have a balance, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's anything that you can take from this, is like balance. Like, yes, we need the Sukis, we need that, but we need the Rhapsodies too. We need substance. We need something that's gonna, like, you know, what the baby's gonna listen to. You know what I mean? So we have a responsibility to make music that empowers people and empowers love, and that furthers our genius, our species. You know what I mean? Like, we have to make the fly shit too. You know what I mean? So I'm working on a project. I'm almost finished with it. I'm gonna drop it sometime this summer. Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Book Lighthouse. It's BOOKLIGHTHOU5E. I'm sure y'all gonna, you know, do the lower thirds, you know what I mean? Get it right. You know what I'm saying?
My guy Joe got that.
Yeah, shout out to Joe, you know what I mean?
Shout out to Joe.
Word. And that's it, man. I just want to make music in the future that just speaks to the human condition. We need more of that. If anybody could take anything from this, be inspired. I'm not gonna say you biting off of me, but like, let's speak to the human condition. Let's talk to people. Like, if you work a 9 to 5, make a dope ass song about your 9 to 5. Like, what's your life like? You know what I mean? You know, there's a lot of things I could rap about. I don't want to get too specific. There's a lot of shit that I could rap about that I lived through, but I choose not to do it because there's so many other people doing it. I don't want to be another person like that. I can only tell my story. Some stuff I don't want to tell because, you know, even if they say the statutes of limitations is like, you know, this amount of time, I still don't trust it. You know what I mean? I don't want to get carried in on nothing else. So I just talk about love, fly shit, traveling, lifestyle stuff. You know what I mean? You know, I just try to make it accessible. I don't even try to be super duper lyrical with it, but it's still lyrical. It's still content to it. But I just want it to be appealing to everybody. You know what I mean? I just want everyone to have a good time and entertain people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go over nobody's head. I just want to hit everyone in the heart. You know what I'm saying? Word.
I usually ask the guests like, "Yo, man, give us a gem," but that shit right there, man, that's the gem.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
man.
it, man.
Yeah.
Like, I can't thank you enough. I think we need a part 2.
Yo, I appreciate that. When the
Definitely think we need a part 2.
Project is done. I'm gonna explain everything to you because I got a whole story with. I'm actually meeting with a young lady who's going to be dialoguing through the project. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, I try to make everything a conceptual piece. So I got to make this one something that people could be like, oh, this is different. You know what I mean?
Hip Hop Gems TV, man. Lighthouse, brother, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, King. Thank you for having me, man.
No doubt, man.
Shout out to Joe.
Yo, yeah, man. Big shout out to my guy, Joe. We out of here.
All right.